right, testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Hopefully you can hear me. All right, let me get my seatbelt on. My meat belt. Meat belt. Turn my brights off. All right, we are rolling. Not doing too bad on time as we head out for our day back to the Job. Adjust the camera there a little bit. You'll notice I do have my lapel on today. I told you that I would work on that. Again, hopefully the sound is picking up. I've done a couple of recordings where I talked for 20 minutes or so and found out that the recording had no audio, and that is really, really like a heartbreaker. It is. But I digress. Today, being, honestly, I'm not sure. I think it's maybe the 2nd of June, I want to say. But I know that it is day 57. It is day 57. We are 3 days away from 2 months on this journey. And so I have what I believe is a very important consideration and message, from my universe. Okay? From my universe. And that is, I believe that I know that we have been misguided, misdirected. And, we've been given misinformation. Some parts, on purpose, and others just out of ignorance, miseducation. And it's concerning what bad, quote unquote, bad is and what good is. Okay? The misinformation is what is over what is actually, quote unquote, good and quote unquote bad. Okay? I've said it before, I don't believe that we were supposed to consider things from the standpoint of being either good or bad. Because we know that in this existence there are merely negative and positive forces. Now, if the king, the authority, the governor sets terms and conditions of words, and through the setting of those terms and conditions essentially establishes control and ultimate power, then I may not, as that king or authority, want you to understand all the time what it is you say, right? Or what it is you transcribe. I may not want you to truly understand because, again, if you see things from the standpoint of good and bad exclusively and only, and not negative, but not from the standpoint of it being a negative and or a positive, then you will merely be going along with terminologies which are contrivances of the authority, the king. By that I mean, how many different ways or definitions might bad have? Michael Jackson, bad. I'm bad. Or that boy or girl is bad. Like, they just are always into something. They don't listen. They're hard-headed, etc., right? Bad. How about that fruit is rotten, spoiled, therefore it is bad? You see? But now let's try the same thing with negative. What does negative suggest? It's the opposite of positive, right? Obviously. Let me turn that off. All right. It's below the number line, right? Down from 0. It's perhaps having uh, a pessimistic outlook, being very negative, as opposed to optimistic, being positive. But my point is, they all connote the same thing. Negative. Negative is negative. Are you understand? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So if we think in terms of negative and positive, I believe you're picking up what I'm putting down. So I'm going to move forward, as opposed to bad, which can have many different meanings, at least 3 different uses, right? Then if something negative takes place in your life, that is merely one of 2 forces necessary to our existence. That's how you would see it. Oh, this is merely necessary, a necessary force. How do we know this? Because we know from mathematics, that a negative and a positive cancels out and sets you at neutrality, 0. We know that in electrical theory, you need both the negative and positive for energy to flow. Energy will not flow without a negative and a positive. We are energy. Everything is energy. Energy is all around you. What would the world be like without energy? Without electricity? Electricity, just fire. What would the world be like? You need both the negative and positive. When they hook, you go in for an EKG or a cardiogram or whatever, they hook negatives and positives to you to chart your body rhythm, the firing of your body, so they can read and check, the status of your heart, the condition of your heart. How powerful, how necessary are the negatives and positives? Okay? Emotions are merely energy in motion. Now, if you are dead, you have no life in you, therefore you have no spirit. Spirit, meaning to breathe. All right? No electricity. Therefore, negatives and positives are vital to our existence, vital to the existence of all, including animals. All right? And so we know that both must exist. And since we know that both must exist, why would we, become hopeless in experiencing one of those 2 very vital and necessary existences or elements, negative and positive? Why? We should realize that they are both necessary. It is part of life. And in closing, think of all of the entities and existences and products and things that require negative forces in order to work. Consider this. Consider all of the items and elements and products that require not only the human body, that require both negative and positives okay, in order to work. Let's consider a bird. Would a bird, well, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say, would a bird be a bird if it could not fly? And then you'd say, well, penguins don't fly. I get it. All right, take it easy on me. It's Monday. You get what I'm saying, though. All right, most birds fly. Okay, and so with that being said, how do birds fly? They flap their wings and they glide against the negative. That is the first time that has happened. My phone fell. Let me see if I can fix it while I'm driving here. Stay tuned. Hold on. All right, so they flap their wings against the negative forces. And they're able to glide, etc., right? Let's consider airplanes. How do airplanes fly? Jet engines or propellers, right? And then they use those negative forces to give them lift, right? Let's consider even boats. How do boats glide across the water? It's water displacement. It's propulsion. All of these require negative forces, etc., etc. Let me see. I thought I had another one. I had written it down, but oh well. I think you are picking up what I'm putting down. With that being said, it's been 12 minutes. So in closing, and lastly, don't be afraid of the negative forces. They are very much necessary. There's been an obfuscation of terms and terminology and words, and those terms and conditions have been set by authorities who kind of like to govern. They enjoy it. All right, they're there for that purpose. Without government, how many jobs would be lost? How many people are employed in government? Just consider that, okay? And so don't be afraid of the negatives. All right, they are very much necessary. They must come along, and they must coexist with the positives. All right, you need them for energy to flow, and we need energy to grow. I'll just say it like that. All right. And another thing, remember that men always seek to control through education, through religion, through science, all right, and through words. They use word art, wizardry, spells, and what have you. All right, and so remember that. Go back to the etymology and the root of words in order to understand the original author's intent behind that word, because you're going to find that as you go on into the future, that new governments, new powers are going to obfuscate, change, and reset conditions in terms of words in order to control the way that you think about this existence. All right? Be empowered today. Make it a great day. It's Monday. It's workout day. We're getting out here. We're getting buff. We're getting healthy. We're eating right, etc., etc. All right. We'll talk to you on the next upload. Be encouraged through these words. Peace out.